Hello, happy Sunday, everyone, and thanks for joining me live today. What I'm going to do on today's live is actually take you behind the scenes of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy program. So I'm going to share my screen over on the Facebook page and show you exactly what it looks like when you log in as an Academy athlete. So if you are on Insta and watching and you want to see what my screen looks like, head over to Facebook and find Dietitian Approved and you'll be able to see my screen there. So let me just share it with you now. Hello to whoever's watching on Facey. All right, let me just click share. Share screen. All right, here we're cooking. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you actually log into the Triathlon Nutrition Academy program as an athlete. So it is an 8-week program, but you've got 12 weeks access. So if, life happens and you miss a week or something happens, you can always just jump back in there and watch something that you've missed. Or if you want a refresher as well, you can kind of just jump back in there and go and watch anything because you've got an extra 4 weeks of access just in case. Okay, so I'll just scroll down and show you what we're going to do over the first 8 weeks. So if you're on Insta, you need to jump over to Facebook if you want to come and have a look at my screen. So let me just check you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, yeah, all right, cool. I think you can see what I'm seeing. In the comments on Facebook, just let me know that everything's all good. All right, so the first module that you get access to is like a welcome module. It just kind of explains everything about the program, how to get it on your phone, which is really cool, how to join our community group, which is full of all of our triathletes doing the program that you get to high five along the way, which is so cool. And we've got people all over the world. We've got people all across Australia, east and west, as well as athletes on the other side of the world, which is so exciting. And we're all doing this together. So you get to access basically an advanced sports dietitian with over 13 years experience in the industry on your phone, in your pocket. You get to carry me everywhere. You can learn on the fly, listen in the car, wherever you want to absorb the content, you have access to it anywhere because everything's online. So I'll show you how to do that in this welcome module. And then we start this week, as in on the 1st of February, we kick off and we go straight into our recovery nutrition because this is one of the areas that most people are not very good at. They suck at their recovery nutrition. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to tick the right boxes for you so that you are getting everything that you need specifically for you because it's very individual. And I also think that recovery nutrition is quite individual for triathlon compared to other sports. Now, we're going to do that immediately. Like that starts on, what's the first? Tuesday. Can you tell it's a weekend? So that starts on Tuesday. We kick straight on to recovery nutrition. And then also in that week, every week you've got a module and I'll go through what those are at the moment. And you also get me live every week as well. So on Thursday next week, I'm going to go live and you can ask me any question, any sports nutrition related question. You can ask me personal things as well if you really want, but that's wasting your time. But any sports nutrition question to help you get unstuck and get some specific advice for you. I think that's really important is that you have access to me and my brain so that you're not sort of kind of fumbling around in the dark and trying to wing it. Learn what I've got to teach you. I'm going to give you the structure and the framework for exactly what you need to do. And then you're going to take that away and apply it to you and your situation. But then you've always got me as a backup to ask me anything. So we're going to do that in every week. You get a module that you go through and then you get me live to ask me questions and get yourself unstuck. Hello to everyone on Insta. If you're on Insta and you want to see my screen, jump on over to the Dietitian Approved Facebook group and Dietitian Approved Facebook page and you'll be able to see what I'm showing you. All right, so that's recovery nutrition. Then we're going to tackle our pre-training nutrition. And this, I think, is another thing that people don't really get right. They either don't eat or they eat, but they may not necessarily eat enough. And I'm going to teach you why we need to have some strategy to our pre-training nutrition and what to eat for certain types of sessions, because you might want to eat differently for like an easy aerobic recovery type session, to a long session, to a hard session. Rather than just doing the same thing all the time, you need to have some structure to your pre-training nutrition as a triathlete. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. So we're going to do what we do with our nutrition around training first, because you get the most bang for your buck out of your sessions if you do that. So in 2 weeks, you're going to know exactly what you need to be doing for your pre and post-training nutrition for every session across your training week. Hey, Mark Johnson, I'm just sharing my screen on Facebook if you want to come and see behind the scenes of what the Academy looks like. All right, and then, of course, you get me live again that week to ask me anything about those two things if you're stuck. And then we're moving on to spending a fair bit of time on building out your meal plan so that you know exactly what to eat and when to support you in your training week at this point. So we're going to go through some of like the foundations of what you should be doing every single day in this module here. And then I'm going to teach you how to do periodization. So I'm going to teach you how to eat for a light recovery day. I'm going to teach you how to eat for a moderate day, whether that's like one hard session or two hard sessions, or a hard session and an easy session, whatever moderate looks like for your training program. We'll talk about that. And then I'm going to also teach you what to eat for a hard session day so that you have that scalability to your nutrition across the week. Because as triathletes, most people eat the same things all the time, and that is not going to end well long term. One, you don't have energy for the hard, long session days. Two, you might be in a severe calorie deficit one day and then overeating on other days and feeling, hey, Yazzie, and feeling just absolutely starving and tired and exhausted by the end of the training week if you haven't got your periodization right. So I'm going to spend a fair bit of time on that, and we're going to go deep into that so that you walk away knowing exactly what to eat and when to get the most out of your training sessions. All right, and then we're going to tackle two really important nutrients that triathletes need to make sure they're getting in their diet every single day, and that's iron and calcium. So calcium is important for obviously strong bones and teeth. Most people know that, but calcium is also involved in every single muscle contraction. So as an endurance athlete, calcium is so important to be getting, particularly if you follow more of a plant-based style diet, or you're dairy intolerant, or you don't have much dairy. Then chances are you aren't getting enough calcium on a day-to-day basis, and you may not know that that's doing damage now. It's not until later, when you end up with osteoporosis or osteopenia, that becomes a problem. So I'm going to make sure that you are building strong, healthy bones, and we're not eating away at our bone tissue because we're not getting enough calcium in our diet. Hello, someone on Insta. That looks like you're coming from Argentina. How you going? Yazzie or anyone else that's joined on Insta, I'm just sharing my screen over on Facebook if you do want to see behind the scenes of what's going on with the Academy program. So jump on over to the Dietitian Approved Facebook page if you want to see what's going on. All right. And iron is the other key nutrient that we need to talk about, because it is, among other things, like it has a lot of roles in the body, which I'll teach you. But one of its major ones is it carries oxygen around the body. And so as an endurance athlete that does a lot of aerobic exercise where we have oxygen, when we have oxygen available, we're breathing, you need to be transporting oxygen around your body so that you can do the work of the exercise, right? But a lot of athletes don't get enough iron in their diet, or they don't absorb it very well. Female athletes in particular, female endurance athletes. Hey, Tab Draper. Whoops, just bumped everything. Female endurance athletes in particular, we have monthly menstrual losses and we lose iron that way. Every time we pound the pavement, we burst open the red blood cells in our heels. It's called heel strike hemolysis, and we lose iron that way as well. So there's lots of ways that we lose iron as a triathlete. We need to make sure we're not ever getting to the point where our iron levels are low. So I'm going to make sure that your iron level stores are optimal, because it can take sort of 6 to 12 months to build them back up again if they are low. And a general practitioner is not generally good at managing iron levels in the active population, because they just go on the lab cutoff values for the general pop. And the athlete, like our athlete guidelines, are different. So I'm going to teach you all about that as part of the Academy as well. And then we go on to the fun sports nutrition things of what to eat for rides and what to eat for runs. So I'm going to teach you all about the like strategies for fueling on the bike, which I like to call the rolling buffet, and also how to eat on your feet, which can be challenging. So that's what we're doing over the first 8 weeks. So it's a lot of fundamentals of nutrition that you need to be working on if you want to stay in the sport for a long time, because all of this stuff, if you get this right and tweak it, you will go from feeling tired and exhausted at the end of the training week, can't peel yourself off the couch after long training sessions, not really kind of meeting the body composition goals that you've got for yourself. And that's what I call the tired triathlete. You're just tired all the time and, you know, starving all the time. I'm going to transform you in 8 weeks into a supercharged triathlete. You're going to have so much energy to back up and go hard again in the afternoon and fit those double session days into your week. You're going to be able to spend the weekends with your family, not feeling just flat and exhausted and wasting your time on the couch or watching Netflix or just like walking around like a zombie after long sessions. And I'll also teach you to manage your hunger in a way that you're not starving all the time. And, you know, for some people, that actually means eating more, but not everyone. Okay, so that's what we're going to do over the first 8 weeks. So we have a module and some learning that you do in your own time. And then you can catch me live every single week to ask questions, get unstuck, and make sure that you're moving forwards and you're not fumbling around in the dark. All right, and so after those 8 weeks is up, you keep access for another 4 weeks, just in case, you know, life happens and you miss something or you want to go and watch it again or you want a refresher. But to entertain you also in the last 4 weeks, I've got some bonus modules for you. So there's a module on getting organized, which is just about how to put all this stuff together in, you know, your day-to-day. Like my top tips as a dietitian for getting organized with food and shopping and all those sorts of things, because I know that you're busy as a triathlete. You've got to train for swim, bike, and run, maybe hold down a full-time job and have family commitments as well. So I'm going to teach you some strategies so that you can take this with you for life. Like this is not a quick fix, you know, 8-week diet program. I'm setting you up for life here. You can take everything that you learn in our fundamentals and apply it forever. So it's the last diet you will ever need. Hey everyone on Insta, I'm just sharing my screen on Facebook if you do want to see behind the scenes of what the Academy looks like. You just need to go to the dietitian approved page on Facebook. All right, so getting organized, you're going to go through label reading as well, which is another mad skill that you're going to need. Labels can be quite confusing. There's a lot of marketing and buzzwords on them, and it's also difficult sometimes to read if you're not reading them all the time or understand how they work. So I'm going to teach you how to read a label, which is going to be so useful in terms of just day-to-day food and picking products from the supermarket, but as well as understanding how to read your sports nutrition product labels, so sports drinks and gels and things like that, so that you know what's in stuff and what to look for, because sometimes we get directed to a new product just because, I don't know, it looks beautiful, or you get hit by marketing on social media or whatever it is. And I want you to be able to look at the label and go, is this good for me or is this not good for me? So I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm also going to teach you how to do mindful eating, which is definitely a skill, but it's, again, a skill that you can take with you forever, because eating mindfully is just about tuning into the experience of eating and being fully present and enjoying food to its maximum value. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. There's a fun little exercise to do in this module here, which, again, you can take with you forever. And then the final bonus module that you've got access to in the last 4 weeks of the program is some tips and tricks for healthy eating when you're eating out and ordering takeaway. So again, it's kind of just layering in all the skills that you'll need to take this stuff with you forever. There's no point me giving you like structure and framework for all of your nutrition when you're eating at home. I want you to then translate that into making choices eating out, because a lot of people kind of have the rhythm and structure of the week with their, you know, work life and meals and things like that. And then it gets to the weekend and it's a bit of a free for all. I can't read that. I'm sorry. You'll have to translate that to English for me. Yeah, I'm not multilingual, unfortunately. So they're your bonus modules that you get access to in the last 4 weeks. So take them or leave them, but they are definitely skills to add to your toolkit as a triathlete that you'll be able to use forever. And also, I think like anyone should have those skills, but particularly for triathlon. So it's just going to layer in some extra stuff just to help you, because I know that nutrition can be complicated. I know change can be hard sometimes. So I really want to make that easy for you so that the transition from having no idea what you're doing with your nutrition to firing on all cylinders is an easy one. So that's what it looks like in the back end of the Academy program. I'm not going to click into any of those things because, that's for the athletes that are inside. But that is what it looks like when you actually jump into the program and what we're doing over the first 8 weeks and beyond. So is there any questions for those people that are online and watching? I'll leave my screen there. Let me just scroll down a little bit. Okay. One of the main questions that I've had this week, I see if there's any other questions that come through, is what's the difference between the Academy and one-on-one consulting? And that's a really good question. So I thought I might answer it here. And I guess there's a couple of differences. So with one-on-one private consulting, you get me one-on-one, it's just you and me and there's no one else. And we go through what you're currently doing, what you're eating, what your training schedule looks like, and we come up with a plan together. But I write your plans for you. I'm like, here's your meal plan. We work on it together and I teach you about why you're doing what you're doing. But I write it for you and you go and follow it. Same as your pre-training nutrition, your recovery nutrition, everything that we've talked about. You get some education for sure, but nowhere near as deep as we have time for in the Triathlon Nutrition Academy. In a 30-minute consult, I will definitely teach you things, but it's less of the why and more of the, okay, what are you doing? This is what you should be doing. Let's come up with a plan and go. Hey, Mort Diddy Pop, how you going? I'm just sharing my screen over on the Dietitian Approved Facebook page if you do want to come and have a look at what the Academy looks like on the inside. But feel free to stay here because we're just chatting now. If you have any questions on the program, please let me know. So that is one of the main differences. One-on-one, you have me one-on-one, and the Academy, we're doing stuff as a group. So you've got your self-paced modules, one drops in every week, and then you join me live every week and ask me questions. And that is with the group of the Academy athletes going through the program at that time. So you've got to share me a little bit. But for that reason, because it's there's more of us there and it's not one-on-one, it is so much more cost effective. It is the same information. And I would also argue that it's probably deeper. If you really do want to understand, the why and a bit more of this deep science behind why we do what we do with sports nutrition, then the Academy is for you. And, budget is one of the factors in that as well. But if you don't care and you just want to be told what to do and you've got the cash to burn, then one-on-one private consulting would be the method that you would go down, particularly if you just don't want to think about stuff and you just want to be here's your plan, go and follow it. That would be the way. But in terms of cost, the Academy is probably half the price of one-on-one consulting. One-on-one private stuff is probably about double. You can claim private health if you have dietitian cover for both models. If you have dietitian cover that covers group consults, then you can potentially claim the Academy program. You just need to check with your fund because every fund is different, and I don't have and they change all the time. I have no idea what they offer you. You just got to check with your fund if they cover group consults or not. And same as one-on-one, you've got to check what they cover, whether it's a percentage or an amount, or if you have dietitian cover at all. But both can potentially be claimed on private health if you have dietitian cover. So that they would be the main two differences, one-on-one versus more group. Much deeper learning with the Academy than one-on-one. And cost is, I guess, another huge thing. The Academy is much more cost effective than working with me one-on-one. So I just wanted to answer that because that's been a common question this week. The other thing that people have been asking me about is the phases. So what doors are open for at the moment is phase 1 of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy, which is our fundamentals, because I really believe that when we talk about sports nutrition, most athletes start with the shiny objects and the magic pills. You know, they go and spend a whole heap of money on supplements and have no idea if they're safe or even effective. And then they come and see a sports dietitian last. But my philosophy is to build you from the ground up. So we're building a really solid nutrition pyramid, looks like this. And our phase 1 fundamentals sits down here. Okay, so that's our day-to-day nutrition, and making sure you're ticking a lot of the boxes that I'll teach you inside of the academy every day for the rest of your life if you want to stay in the sport, and also just some healthy choices as well. And then we're going to layer in our phase 2 sports nutrition principles. So that's when we're starting to tackle our short course race nutrition. So that is beyond phase 1. So the cost on the website at the moment and the access for now is just for phase 1, the fundamentals. And then once you're inside the program, you get offered or get access to phase 2 if you want it. And that is an additional cost. It is not included in the phase 1 cost. And so phase 2, we're going to really dive into our short course race nutrition for sprint and Olympic distance. And so as part of that, we're going to understand things like our pre-race breakfast, our recovery for racing, carb loading if it's appropriate for the distance, hydration, and what is good for you. And we're going to start to talk about some of the supplements that are safe and beneficial and effective in the triathlon space. So that's what phase 2 is. And then if you want it, you don't need to continue to phase 3. But if you want it, you can continue to phase 3, which is our long course race nutrition. So that is for 70.3 and Ironman athletes. So we're taking what we've learned in phase 1 and 2, and we're then applying it to the long course space. So that would be for you if you wanted to step into a 70.3 or step into an Ironman distance event. If you don't ever want to go that far in a race, then you don't need to do phase 3. Now, you can also stop at phase 1 if you want to. You don't need to continue beyond that. You'll learn a bit more about it once you're on the inside, but we have an ongoing monthly membership for our Supercharged squad. And that includes an access to me once a month for a group consult. And I'm going to teach you something new and exciting for triathlon nutrition every month as well, so that you've really got your finger on the pulse when it comes to triathlon nutrition, because it is a space that evolves constantly. And there's new stuff coming all the time. Like, say, for instance, the Morton products, they are, well, probably in the last 12 months. Hey, Chrissy Webb. Chrissy, I'm just sharing my screen on Facebook if you want to come and see what your program looks like on the inside, but you'll unlock your access tomorrow or the 1st of February, I think it unlocks for you. But dietitian approved Facebook page if you want to see what it looks like on the inside. What was I saying? Train of thought gone. Okay, Morton products. Sunday. Okay, so Morton, which has been commercially available for 12 months? Maybe 2 years now. I don't know. I've got a bit of a COVID hole of time. I don't really remember what's happened. Hey, Georgia Stewart. So Morton, it's something that I can teach you, but I can teach you where it came from and what it's good for and which of the products to use and when. Because Morton was actually, the gels were used in the 2-hour marathon attempt. I'm not going to attempt his name, but Kipchoge, that guy, that it was developed for that. And then it's only become commercially available a couple of years after that happened. But, there's some science behind it. And that's one of the things, if you continue on with your monthly membership, I can teach you, like all of that stuff. So you really have your finger on the pulse when it comes to triathlon nutrition. We're going to talk about strength training for triathletes. We're going to talk about managing body composition. We're going to talk about nitrate. We're going to talk about so many different things that are useful, whether you should do fasting, whether you should do low carb, high fat, whether you should become a vegan, all those sorts of things we're going to keep building into your nutrition knowledge, into your toolkit, so that you're not, I guess, what I call just chasing shiny objects. There is nutrition is a very noisy space. And particularly in sport, there's a lot of marketing, there's Netflix documentaries and things like that that come up all the time. So I'm going to give you my advanced sports dietitian take on all of those things. So if you do, you'll learn more about it once you're on the inside, but our Supercharged Squad is a small fee, monthly ongoing access to everything. If you do want to keep access to the program, you get me live once a month. And I'm going to teach you lots of things as we go as well. So it's definitely a community of triathletes who want to keep their fingers on the pulse with nutrition, and in an evidence-based way. We're not kind of following shiny objects. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know so that you can kind of put your blinkers on and dampen out all the noise that's in this space. All right. Whew. Is there any questions for anyone that's online? There's a few people I'm facing. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, tomorrow is our last live session and it's on at midday again. And it's your last chance to catch me if you do have any questions around the Academy program, because doors close tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, sharp, so Brisbane time. Now, it's like literally flick of the button to turn the doors off at 6. And that is your last opportunity to get in. I'm not sure when I'll open the doors again. I'm really going to just focus on working with my awesome athletes that are inside before I even look to open doors again. So it's at least 8 to 12 weeks away, probably more, in fact, because I think I'm going to need a rest. So doors close tomorrow night at 6 p.m. sharp if you do want to join us. If you're sitting on the fence and have any questions, please just send me a DM. I'm more than happy to talk it through with you. If you've got anything in particular that you're not unsure of or whether it's going to be a good fit for you. But you've got a little over 24 hours to jump on and do that. And I'll be on live here tomorrow at midday again if you do have any last minute questions. And I'll talk you through the program a little bit more then as well. So if there's no questions, I might jump off. And if you're watching the replay as well, please just send me a comment or send me a message and I can answer that for you as well. All right, everyone, enjoy your Sunday. I'm going to try and do a little bit of R&R today because I know that tomorrow is going to be absolutely bonza. Hey, Nick, how you going? Nick's one of our athletes on the inside. All right, I'm just about to jump off, Nick, but I've just been sharing my screen on Facebook for everyone to have a look at what it looks like on the inside. All right, I might stop sharing. Any last questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you live tomorrow at midday if you want to catch me. But doors close tomorrow at 6 p.m. So you need to go to dietitianapproved.com/academy if you do want to join an awesome group of triathletes that are going to smash it in the fourth leg with their nutrition. Woo! All right, see you guys. Have a good Sunday.